Storytellers, it's just me, Faulkner. Today I'm going to be ranking all of the Wizarding World movies, the Harry Potter and Fantastic Beasts movies, from my least favorite to my favorite. Make sure to comment down below your ranking of all these films. Which franchise do you like better in their own respective means, and what other takes do you have with this? Coming in last place, we have Fantastic Beasts: Crimes of Grindelwald. This is a film that just does not work well following up with the first. It just loses its balance of what it's trying to go for. And meanwhile, there's going on all these different subplots that I can't really attach to characters or care for all the things going on at all. Really, one of the better parts of it is the last act of the movie, just with Grindelwald. His approach and Johnny Depp's performance as Grindelwald is absolutely amazing. But all in all, most of the story is not all too appealing for me, and I don't feel I'll rewatch this too much. Coming in as number 10, we have Fantastic Beasts: Secrets of Dumbledore. Now, this is one that I actually kind of enjoyed just for what it was. It still lacks that strong appeal. Mads Mikkelsen replacing Johnny Depp as Grindelwald was a decent replacement, but they didn't try and make him feel the same. And of course, different actors approach things different ways, so he didn't perform the role bad, but they did draw back some of his powers within the story itself, which made it to be an odd sort of approach, just with his character in general, making him seem less powerful and doing different powers that don't ultimately affect his end goal. And while the story was decent, all in all, it wasn't fantastic. Coming in as number 9, we have Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. This one can be enjoyable here and there, especially having these fun little events with the games, and then also beating the man that must not be named for the first time in that resurrection type of battle at the end, and then just having the first death that makes it ultimately a strong, starting to see the stakes build up for what you're going to, as Harry Potter is still in his younger years. But overall, while some things balance out well, others just don't feel as promising and attractive to the story overall. Coming in with number 8, we have Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. And this is a fun film just for what it is, that has the Harry Potter aesthetic, but does not quite approach the same feel with the same amount of lovable characters. You see Newt Scamander and you love him when he's around the animals and the beasts that he's connecting with, because there's a sort of connection that you resonate with your own pets through his character. But when it's approaching everything else and all the other wizards and the battles outside of that, it's harder to attach to the movie to where it's only good and nothing all too special, unlike the rest of the movies on this list. Coming in at number 7, we have Harry Potter and Philosophers. Stone's a great introduction by Chris Columbus directing this film. Absolutely incredible. Just the younger years, while the acting isn't the best, just because you're dealing with a lot of younger kids in that role as the main characters, it still does introduce what the book has to offer into such a great that all the actors feel so right in their respective roles, and just having the man that must not be named, the world building all in general, just makes this promising as a fantasy world that you're gonna love. Coming in at number 6, we have Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, a fun film that has such a great final battle that I enjoy more than the first movie. And overall, just the writings on the wall, the mystery elements all integrated within the plot, just makes this a bit more enjoyable than the rest. Coming in at number 5, we have Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1. Well, this is a film that's really great for its own means, really well written. It has those camping scenes that can feel a bit drawn out in some parts that drag on some of the enjoyment factor, but overall it's still really good even as it dives into those. So it's still really good for what it is. It's just not quite as good as the remaining 4. Coming in at number 4, we have Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Absolutely incredible film. Getting more on Dumbledore, more secrets of the other characters in Harry. We're getting more into the final act and the climax of this whole franchise. And I'm absolutely loving all the wizarding world, that getting to explore Snape and who he is. And just understanding more of the ultimate threat we're up against makes this for one amazing film. Coming in at number 3, we have Harry Potter and the Order of Phoenix. Mostly the climax of the film that is absolutely amazing. Building Dumbledore's army, Harry being essentially the leader of this Dumbledore's army, as Dumbledore is mostly gone from the film. Having one of the best villains that you love to hate as Umbridge is this teacher that's just maniacal and sinister in her ways, how she's investing into this in such a wrong way, and yet you love her approach in the worst way because of how cruel it is to these students, and just all these characters and all of these different build-ups to the training that Harry Potter gives all these other students to fight against the ultimate threat makes this for one good film. Coming in at number 2, we have Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows Part 2. Absolutely amazing film. Just the end to this whole battle. And while sometimes the follow-up of a Part 1, Part 2 sequence isn't always as good as the first, because you have to rely on the first to make it good, this stands really well on its own, knowing where it's picked up off of, and just the journey finding the rest of the Horcruxes, and that fight at the end, the ultimate fight against Harry and the man that's not to be named, and just defeating all the bad guys and knowing where it is makes sense exactly for what it's going for. But nonetheless, it's just amazing as it stands. Coming in with number 1, though, we have Prisoners of Azkaban, an absolutely amazing film. If I didn't love the Harry Potter franchise enough, they had to introduce time travel, something I absolutely love. And while it wouldn't work so well if it was integrating itself throughout all the movies, introducing time travel, a science fiction aspect and element to storytelling, and putting it into this fantasy world is just perfect for what it's going for. It's not overused, it's not shoved in your face. It's something that's integrated as an important and crucial plot to this thing that you don't even find out about until the end of the film, even though it has those subtle suggestions here and there, having Hermione skip classes or join in classes that she is not scheduled to be in. Just in general, having all of these different fun elements, more of the world building, more of the character building, that makes me love them all the same. Even Harry Potter still being in his younger years, even as a threat is still starting to be introduced, I love it exactly for what it's going for, building on the background of all these characters and establishing more and more of the world building. That makes it my number 1 Wizarding World film of all time. Now that's just my ranking. I'd love to hear your ranking down in comments below. Let's create a nice, respectful discussion, because these are just our own personal takes. We all love films for different ways by our own perspectives and biases. Make sure to comment that down below. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of my upcoming videos. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.